Hello again. Well, the wife's away, so I thought I ought to get and do some filming because I haven't for a while. She's gone off with her friends off to the big city in a coach trip, and she said actually one of them dropped down. She said, "Oh, there's room for you to come if you want." And I couldn't imagine anything worse, frankly. You got to hear the coach because they're coming before you see it. It's not the sound of the engine; it's got the raucous laughter and prosecco corks popping and things. So it's definitely not the sort of thing I'd want to do with a load of middle-aged women. Anyway, a while back I thought it might be nice to make a vintage headphone system, and I got some fairly decent, as it turned out, new old stock Philips Electret headphones. There's a separate video about this. And I began thinking then about getting a headphone amplifier, a vintage one. And what it turns out is that there aren't really very many at all around. So I looked in this hi-fi yearbook, and what it seems to be is there are kind of what you might call what they call control units, which seem to be taking a feed from the loudspeaker outlets of an amplifier and sort of a headphone outlet from that with a switch box. And of course there are lots of energizers for electrostatic headphones, but there aren't really any headphone amplifiers like we see a lot of today. And the Chinese do a lot of these, and this is a little portable one. This is a Theo E7, and you can get these the Chinese ones about £20 upwards. So what to do? Well, what I eventually did was buy one of these, and this is a NAD 1020 preamplifier, and this I think has a lot of even today a lot of advantages over these sort of Chinese things. So this is the preamp section of the famous NAD 3020 amplifier, which is possibly the most famous and maybe best-selling amplifier in the world if you take into account all its variants, etc. So basically it's in the same sort of chassis almost as a 3020, but what they did is they took out the power amp section, and there's various good reasons for doing this. It takes away the interference, so you might get EMF interference from the power amp section. And what they found when they brought out the 3020, which has got jumpers from the preamp to the power amp, is that a lot of people were using the preamp section of the 3020 with a much beefier power amp section. So, what do you get? Well, you get your on-off switch, you get your headphone amplifier, you get tone and balance controls, and so that's one advantage you get over the Chinese ones, which you don't really get. And these are quite subtle, so I think they're well designed. You get inputs for, and actually there's got, compared to a lot of Chinese amplifiers maybe have one input, this has got quite a few. And around here there's this inputs, tuner, auxiliary, tape in and out, and of course you get a well-designed phono stage, and this one you can actually, it's moving magnet only, but there's 3 different capacitance sections, so settings you can do. As well as that you get a muting button, you get a loudness button, and you get a volume control. And I've been using this, and actually I've really enjoyed using it. Now it's certainly not the most detailed and transparent amplifier I've ever used, and compared to the Myriad one, it's kind of the best headphone amplifier. It's a lot less neutral than that, but what it does have is that nice sort of vintage chocolatey warmth that you get from NAD amplifiers, and indeed it seems to me likely that the chocolatey warmth sound of the 3020 may probably stem largely from the preamp section. So I say I've actually really quite enjoyed listening to stuff through this, and it struck me looking at the headphone amplifiers you get these days are quite cheap Chinese. Is that, there's a lot of advantage to this. Whereas a lot of the Chinese ones have a DAC. This has got things that they don't have. I see it's got several inputs. There's also got a decent phono stage. Now this costs me £49. It's in great condition, and I think that's a good deal. So this is the original 1020, and I think there were some later ones come along. There's a 1020A and B, but I've been really pleased with this. Say not the most detailed, but fun and musical to listen to. NAD 1020s tend to be quite expensive, and I think I was lucky to get this. This was and I buy it now. And I suppose cheaper preamps you might get maybe from Rotel. That they're probably a very good make to look out for. But anyway, so if you want a headphone amplifier with a preamp with that sort of vintage sound, I think you could do worse than getting one of these. Thanks for watching.